It's about 1 o'clock on Wednesday afternoon. We're out here in the greenhouse. I thought it would be a good thing for you guys to kind of get caught up on what's going on. I've got a helper who's learning how to make soilless mix. He needed a few extra instructions. He argued with me a little bit about whether he needed to get his arms dirty or if he could use the scoop, but we got him to do it in the right way. So I thought you'd like to see some of the things that are happening. This is our kale. You can see how there's a tray here that I've divided up in order for it to have a little bit more space. These here that haven't been divided yet are growing a little bit larger, but what will happen is over time, these guys will do better. They slowed down because their roots got disturbed, but they will catch back up. Some good things that are happening are our tomatoes are really going to come along. This tray looks great. You can see that there are real true leaves coming up where the cotyledons come up first. You can see the little tiny cotyledon leaves underneath. Now that these tomatoes have some true leaves, they really need to get transplanted. I'll be trying to get out here and do that quite a bit in these next few days. It's really time for it to be happening. If you guys are out here with me, this is what we would be doing every single day for the block. Some of the things that start more slowly, like this is coleus. There's the coleus. Those start a lot more slowly. Here's the portulaca. Now, portulaca is one of the things that we started that first week we were seeding. So this is how long it takes for those guys to get started. So it's kind of interesting how you really have to time your greenhouse growing operation in order to have things coming up at the right time. This amaranthus is going crazy. Really needs to be transplanted. Couple disappointing things, however, the peppers are not doing anything. You can see that some of the little small flats of peppers didn't do anything at all. I mean, there should be 30 seeds. I think what we decided was 30 seed packs for each one. So the fact that there's nothing coming up, that's kind of a bad sign. That could be rodent issues. If it wasn't for the rodents, I would have said that it was just that they were planted too deep or they didn't germinate, but I'm thinking this might be one of the places that the rodents really did a number on us. This is a great plant here called cleome. These get to be about 4 feet tall when they flower in the summer, so it's really something that they would grow from these little tiny things and get that big. Sierra asked me this morning about the transplants in this dome, and I had responded to her that they were not looking quite as good. So you can see that some of the rosemary have some fungus. Some look like they aren't going to make it, but others look okay. I think, Sierra, I think your ivies are alive, and it looks like, yeah, it looks like you're getting some root growth. Look at that. That's super cool. So they're pale, but they're doing okay. These got bumped open. These are those, Silvery Queens Artemisias that I did cuttings on. I'm going to try to water those and see if they'll come back a little bit. Really not much root growth on that rosemary, so that's kind of a bummer. Nora asked me how some of our experiments were doing, and here's a couple that we had never tried before. Here's lemon balm. If you look carefully, you can see there's a couple little things going on there. Whoever did these spinaches did such a beautiful job. Look how perfectly spaced those are. Cabbages are coming up. The basil's coming up really well, so is the cilantro and the parsley. These are the things I gave away a lot of right before people left. Okay, here's another experiment, or here's our little scallions. I don't know if you guys can see these or not. Can you see those tiny little green shoots? Those are our scallions, so that's looking good. Could be that we do pretty well with those. Lovely little thyme, some oregano. So we're gonna end up with doing okay with those things. Here's some stuff where the soilless mix is probably packed a little too deep and hard, so that instead of them water being able to drain through, you can see a little bit of mold on top. I wasn't here yesterday, so things look a little bit dry, but they'll be okay. I transplanted all those moonflowers that we had started. I transplanted them into these smaller pots. These bigger pots, I took them out of the 6-packs and transplanted them into these bigger pots so they could really take off. Those guys are looking great. The nasturtiums that we had left are here. I planted some in these small pots, just like I did with the moonflowers. These will grow really well. And I did start a few hanging baskets. I'm gonna actually turn this one because it's facing towards the sun. So we have to turn these so that we can make sure that they're not growing unevenly because they like the sun and they're gonna turn towards the sun. I only did 5 hanging baskets. These are one of the plants that really got nailed by the rodents. Normally we would have 20 or 25 hanging baskets of these nasturtiums, and we would also sell some by 6-packs. But this year, that's just not going to happen. Here's another one. See how they're growing toward the sun? If you look at this side of the pot, I planted them all evenly, but they're growing towards the sun. So every few days, we'll come in here and we'll turn them around. And now they'll start growing in the other direction. There's a good example of one that's growing towards the sun. Turn that guy around. The one other thing I wanted to show you today before I signed off was the bummer that is our zinnias and our marigolds. Some of them are coming up, yes, but what you can see is that the rodents took those leaves right off the top. As they were coming up, they would chop those cotyledons, those seed leaves right off. And what's going to happen is those plants are going to die. You can see them right here. You see that little tiny, see this little tiny green stem? That should have leaves on it like this. When the rodent takes the leaves off, then that's it. They're going to die. So got the mouse traps out, no mice. So this is going to be the time in the next week or so. It's kind of a bummer for any grower. I'm going to be, when I'm not transplanting tomato plants, I'm going to be going through all these flats. Look at those flats of marigolds that never germinated. And do we know that they didn't germinate, or did the mice eat them as they came up? I'm not really sure. Could be either one. But in this entire tray of zinnias, we've got 4 left. And here, we've got a situation where, see that stuff growing under those marigolds? That's where rodents moved some other funky little seeds. Look at this tray of marigolds. Nothing. Look how mature this plant is. That shows you how long they've been growing. This tray should be full of flowers. So the other thing, unfortunately, that I'll be doing in the next few days, and I wish you guys were here to help me, is to go through all of these 6-packs and combine them so there's a perfect 6-pack. You know, I could never sell a 6-pack with 1 marigold or 2 marigolds. So what I'll do is I'll take these and combine them together and make sure that we have complete 6-packs. And you guys can do the math. It's not very good. It's not very good at all. So in addition to all the weird stuff with coronavirus and what that's done to our greenhouse this year, we're just having a bad year of germination anyways. Truthfully, some of it could be the old seeds. As I look around and I start dumping things, I'll probably notice that some of those varieties, we had 3 different varieties of marigolds, maybe one did better than the other. I'm not sure. Maybe some of those seeds were just not good and viable. So, all right. Well, that's all I want to share with you today. I can't get the camera to turn around, so I hope you see me right now. Not really sure. Bruce is giving me the they see you. So I miss you guys, and the greenhouse misses you. And we'll have something new to report in a couple days. Take care.